Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with co-host Terrence.
What's up?
And Carrie.
Hey.
All right, guys. We're back. Jack and Mike are out this week, but we do have plenty to talk about. We are going to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming, talk a little bit of spoilers since our review is already up for Spider-Man Homecoming. We also have some interesting stuff in science and tech. So actually a pretty huge scientific breakthrough, by the way. No stupid tech this week. I just could not find something dumb enough. I promise I will try to do better next time. Question of the week responses, comic news, lightning round, of course, movie and TV, and what the fuck brought to you by JTD. And 2 trailers this week as well, where one of them is with Spider-Man and the Punisher hanging out together, and they really shouldn't be. So first off, just another note. We announced last week that we have a new podcast in the TMP Studios network called Coming Distractions. That show is live. The latest review is for Spider-Man Homecoming. There's a review for War for the Planet of the Apes is there already, and a number of other reviews from the last couple of months. That podcast is a separate show, so make sure you go on iTunes or Google Play or any of those places, Stitcher, and find that and subscribe. No one does
that still work?
It does.
Like the actual Stitchers exist.
I don't have it on my phone anymore, so I have no idea. But for those of you who do, I checked the statistics for our Stitcher shows, and I was just like, is anyone even using that? Like, I tweeted out, I was like, is anyone using Stitcher anymore? And it's like 4 people. But for the 4 people, who are using it,
good for
it
you.
is there. So make sure you go to whatever your podcatcher is, subscribe to Coming Distractions. Again, those are just movie reviews. They're anywhere between 10 to like 20 minutes, depending on the movie and what we want to talk about. But that comes out as we review movies. So it's not a weekly or monthly show. It's like in the next couple of days, it's going to be like 3 or 4 episodes because we have a bunch of movies coming out because of the summer. And then sometimes it won't be, for a week in between. But just look forward to that, Coming Distractions. All right. Checked out this week. I tried to go see a movie called A Ghost Story. So I have a story. I was on 3 hours of sleep, and I went to see the screener for A Ghost Story, which is like highly reviewed. This new movie by A24 Films. It's like a super indie movie. The premise is his husband and wife. The husband dies in a car accident. That's not a spoiler. He's just dead. It's Casey Affleck, so that's fine. He dies, and he comes back as a ghost. But he comes back to look like a ghost, as a kid would be a ghost, like literally with a sheet with 2 holes in it, right? And he's just, basically just watching his wife's life as time progresses. Like, she remarries and has kids and stuff like that. So it's a super interesting thing.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So he's just like sitting in the corner with a sheet over his head like a fucking Klansman?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. Like, granted, that part seems very silly.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, right? Like, I mean, like, that's legitimately the image, right? Like, it's...
Yo, come on.
Like, it's a sheet with 2 holes in it, right? So, but that part is...
Good night, everybody.
I think really the reason why they did it that way was like, so Casey Affleck only had to be in the beginning and he was like, I'm out.
And I'm out.
Like, you hire somebody to stand here, fuck off. I just want an Oscar. Like, no. Call one of these other losers to do it. But I tried to make it through. And again, I was on 3 hours of sleep. So this isn't particularly indicative of the movie as much as it's sort of indicative of the situation.
Did you pass out?
No, that actually would have been more than what I did. Oh. I was sitting there and I lasted 30 minutes, and then there was a scene in the movie where the wife had, like, someone had dropped off some food to her after her husband died, right? Like, that's a common thing. And they dropped off this pie, and she was sitting somberly eating this pie, like, out of the dish. And Ghost Affleck is, like, just standing in the corner watching her. And she's eating, and she's depressed. She's not crying. She's not saying anything, but she's clearly depressed. And then they proceed to have us watch a woman eat an entire pie in real time for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, I literally did the fucking Jerry Seinfeld, fuck this, and I walked out. And I went home. Like, because I could not take it anymore. Like, and again, that is somewhat on the movie, but it's probably...
I would say that's 100% on the movie.
I mean, look, in fairness, my patience...
Do you really need to show a woman eating up pie for 10 minutes of a 2-hour movie?
It was in fucking real time. They never cut away. Like, I cannot stress that enough.
Yo.
Like, they literally, like, she bit into the pie, right? Like, so you can hear, like, the fork. The scene is completely quiet. She, like, the fork clangs on the fucking bottom of the tin, right? And I think... by the 5th or 6th time she had like rotated and taken a bite, like my brain was like, we cannot do this. Like I cannot watch her eat another second. It wasn't like gross or anything. It was just the most mind-numbingly boring thing I've ever seen. But there are some...
He was just sitting in the fucking corner watching.
Never moved, never said anything, nothing.
Yo, I probably would have walked out and I would have been like fine as far as like sleep.
I
Like,
mean,
fuck that.
No, I
dude.
would have left.
it was
fuck this
obnoxious. Like that part was pretty obnoxious.
Yeah.
There were some earlier scenes that I thought were actually beautifully done, right? So to the first 10 minutes of a ghost story, thumbs up. But no, not on 3 hours of sleep. I could not do it. Because I think it was like a 2.5 hour movie. I was like, yo, I would have blown my fucking brains out. Are you kidding me?
No.
But there.
I sat through Gem and the Holograms. I would not have sat through that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. Like, I wish that the movie I was watching that night was a more like a faster paced movie, because I would have been fine, right? Like if it was like the normal plot speed, I would have been okay. But dude, I was like, I can't, like, this isn't even an important scene. Like, this is a woman eating pie. Like, that's not important in any way, shape, or form. It's just not.
That's some pretentious ass shit.
It was
Yeah.
like that scene was pretty
Like, get the
fucking
fuck out of
pretentious.
my face,
Like it
man. I
was.
wouldn't, as the actress, I'd be like,
You're
are
gonna
we
make me
really
eat a whole
fucking
pie?
doing this?
Like, cut away,
Like,
dude.
no, yo, I'm not. First of all, I don't want to eat this whole pie. Leave me alone. Like, nah, cut. Fuck that. We're done.
You got what you wanted.
Just loop it. Fuck off.
Dude, if they looped it, I don't think anyone would have noticed. Look, okay, now, I am going to say one thing to the other people I was in the screener with. One, I was sitting in front of Chris and Brandon from Movie Trailer Reviews, and I could slowly, as the scene was happening, I could slowly hear them breaking, dude. Because they were just like really? Like, we still doing this? Like, and then, because again, it's super quiet, and it was a press-only screening, right? And it was a small theater. I could hear the other reviewers going... Like, everyone knew it was pretentious. Like, it wasn't just me, but like it was like right to that breaking point. And I have never walked out of a screener ever. But it was too much. It was untenable. I could not make it. So I don't have a review for a ghost story. So
I got a review for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
It was beautifully shot, and it was actually a really nice scene of Casey Affleck and his wife like in bed, which I thought was really well done and seemed really natural. And then the scene where he actually, after he dies and like comes back as a ghost, was a really cool scene. Other than that, don't know, don't care. Not watching someone eat pie for 10 minutes. Get the fuck out of my house.
You wait for it to hit Netflix.
I would
forward through the pie scene.
Yeah, no, I can't watch that again. Like, I've given up way too many cycles of my life to think that is acceptable. But I would try to watch it again. I gotta have more sleep, man. Like, I just couldn't do it. Next up, Terrence and I watched Castlevania. Terrence, what'd you think? How many of the 4 episodes have you watched?
2.5.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna finish it. I don't care enough. Well, first of all,
by the way, I also made it 2.5. Literally, exactly.
Look, there are people that really enjoy this show, and they say the 4th episode is when it kind of.
I hear the 4th episode is a banger. Like,
I'm sure.
Yo, it finally just started.
Yeah, and that's the last episode. There's only 4 fucking episodes.
right.
Could have gotten started in episode 2, maybe 3.
I might just skip to the 4th episode to the good part, because this shit was fucking boring.
I just did not find it interesting.
Like, okay, apparently, I mean, I'll say this: they humanized Dracula because they kill his wife. That's fucked up.
Yeah, you actually, you're kind of like,
I'm like,
I get it.
Yeah, fuck off. Like, kill all of them motherfuckers. But after that, like when Trevor shows up, or is it Trevor Belmont?
Yeah, it's Trevor.
When he shows up,
No, it's Trevor.
yeah, he shows up and he's like drunk and like the voice actor sucks.
He is the least interested voice actor in a role ever. Hey guys, it's me, Trevor Belmont. Why is this guy?
Fucking serpent. He's like, I'm fucking drunk. Leave me alone, please. Stop. I'm like, this is what we got to listen to for the whole fucking show.
Yeah, he was not.
He sucks.
Yeah, and what sucks is,
or just not matched well.
Well, I don't know what his non-drunk voice sounds like because I didn't fucking make it that far. But like, if he sounds like slightly less drunk but still sounds like that, no.
Like, Trevor's supposed to be one of the more interesting Belmonts too.
Not in this one. They decided to take some character liberties. This shit is fucking boring. No, it legitimately. I watched the first episode. I liked the first episode because that was all the Dracula background and like the wackadoo like religious zealots and stuff like that. I was like, all right, man, this is like pretty fucking dark, right? It was like, wow, okay. And I mean, I figured it would be dark. It's fucking Castlevania, right? I mean, note to self, people who don't remember, I was too scared to play the games as a kid, right? Okay, so that was a wuss. So I liked the first episode. The second episode, I was just like, okay, like that was when they actually introduced Trevor because I don't.
He was in a bar. He wasn't. I don't.
He wasn't even in the first.
He wasn't in the first episode.
Yeah, not at all.
He shows up in the second episode and like he's talking to a bunch of people in the bar and he gets in the bar fight. And I'm like, that's it. My first thought was like, that's his voice.
Well, and I was like, this is how we're introducing.
Yeah, he's a drunk.
The hero. I thought that was weird, but
like I didn't have a problem with how they introduced him, but then I saw and I'm like, he's got that giant fur coat. Which is fine, because that's what he wears. But then he opened his mouth, and I'm like, whoa, this is not good.
What did you do?
And even the animation, like, it looks nice, like the style is an anime. Yeah. But the animation itself isn't all that great to me, personally.
It's not. Like, it doesn't stand out. It doesn't really shine.
It looks just like every other fucking anime, literally.
Yeah. That's something I would absolutely agree with. It's just... There's nothing about it that's like, okay, this is a Castlevania anime. Like, I understand using anime style. That makes sense, obviously. But I don't know. I felt like it was largely forgettable.
Yeah. Some people love it.
I
intend, it's, in total, it's like 2 hours. So,
if that. It's like an hour and 40, because each episode is like 24 minutes long.
So I'm probably going to binge it this weekend just to...
I couldn't
watch the whole thing.
Did you get to the fight with the Cyclops?
Probably not. I don't remember that.
I got to that part, and that was like a pretty decent scene. I couldn't make myself watch anymore. Like I was just like, I am bored by this. Like the second the Cyclops fight was over, and he's like talking to another character, I was just like, click. Done. I was like, and I had nothing to watch over my lunch break, and that's what I was watching, and I still couldn't watch it.
Like I watched it. It was kind of late. It was like 11 o'clock. I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch this. And then I watched the movie with the Hulk Hogan. I can't remember the name. Nobody Speak. That shit was very good.
Yeah, it's a good documentary.
Like it went from fucking boring ass Castlevania to that documentary, which
the documentary about Terry Bollea not having a 10-inch penis is
Hulk Hogan has a look.
It's one of the greatest lines of all time.
He's like, well, Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch. He's like, I don't have a 10-inch.
Terry Bollea.
It's like Terry Bollea doesn't have a 10-inch penis. Hulk Hogan has a 10-inch. I was like, what the fuck are you?
How are you saying this with a straight face?
And the guy from Gawker was like, what? even the prosecutor was like, wait a minute, hold up, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, and he won. Fucking Florida is the worst state.
It is the worst
in
state.
The country.
It's the worst state.
They gave that motherfucker like $20 million. How much did he win?
A lot.
He won. He sued them for $100 million, and I think he got like $25 million.
The guy was like, I don't have you talked about this last week. He was like, I don't have $100 million to give you. And he was like, well, we're just gonna freeze all your fucking money in your account. I'm like, oh,
all right, well, there you go. Thanks for that.
Yeah, that shit. But then it went from that into like a whole bunch of into like the Trump administration and all of that. It's really good.
Yeah, it was very well done.
Basically, it's posits what's happening now.
Yeah, rich people are trying to fuck the media over for their own disgusting purposes.
Working.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's working.
Unfortunately. So yeah, that's Castlevania, everybody. Terry Bollea's 10-inch penis is better than fucking Castlevania.
Dude, I was crying when he fucking said that. Terry Bollea doesn't have a 10-inch penis. I was like, stop saying that. Stop saying it. For the love of God, please stop saying it.
Man. Like, I would be like, get the fuck out of my courtroom, dude. Like, get out of here, man. No. Sorry.
And take that stupid thing off your head. Yeah. All right, so the three of us did watch something that was very good. We all watched Spider-Man Homecoming starring Tom Holland. Again, our spoiler-free review is in Coming Distractions. Mike and I sat down and talked about it. So we are going to talk spoilers. So if you have not seen Spider-Man Homecoming, pause, run out of your house, go see it, come back, continue playing. All right, what did you think of Spider-Man Homecoming, Carrie?
Spectacular. It was so good. Like,
did you say amazing?
Yeah.
Avenging? That was a terrible comic title. That was a Spider-Man comic.
Yeah,
it was a terrible comic too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's what Spider-Man needed in a film. Yeah. He needed a good film that wasn't another origin story, that had a good villain.
A damn good villain.
And, you know, brought Peter into the MCU in a human and realistic way. Yes. And I thought this really nailed it.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is a scary motherfucker. Like,
yeah. I think Michael Keaton would kill a kid. I feel like Michael Keaton would murder a teenager.
Dude, that fucking scene in the car.
In the car, I've never held my breath in an MCU film until that scene in the car where, like, the whole time I was like,
he's gonna kill him.
He's gonna kill him.
Tom Holland's gonna get one movie.
He's gonna kill him.
I guess we're getting Miles Morales because he's not gonna make it. I thought he was so good. The funny thing is, Keaton was such a standout, but it wasn't when he was in the suit. Like,
it was when he was outside of the suit. Like, he was so good. He didn't have a lot of screen time, but every time he was on screen, it was like, what the fuck is this dude gonna do?
He was compelling. Like, he really was.
He was really good. That car scene, he was like, I will kill you dead. And I'm like, well, that's redundant.
Well, you're definitely from New York.
Right. He's like, I will kill you. I will kill you dead. I will kill everyone that you love. And the fact that actually the entire scene, I love that whole scene. Because he's talking, he's like, as he's driving, he's like,
a lot of coincidences lining up here.
Did you notice that the light changed to green as soon as he figured it out?
I didn't even. Yeah. He's like, oh shit, son.
Yeah, like you see it in his eyes that he's got that, like, he figured it out, and then the light changes to green, and I was just
that's fucking cool.
You're fucking clever.
I gotta say, people gave sort of mixed reviews. I haven't seen it yet for Cop Car, which is John Watts' first movie, and people largely I think liked it, but it was like, I don't know about this guy. No, this dude nailed it. He fucking nailed it, dude. Like, he was able to pull. I don't really think pull is probably not the right word, but he was able to bring out a hell of a performance from Keaton. Tom Holland, I thought, was really good. Like, he had that kid whimsy about him that just worked. I wrote in the fan group, the nerdpocalypse.com/fans, I wrote in the fan group that one of the things I like about Holland Spider-Man compared to Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield was he has something as an actor that they don't, which is he's a kid. Like, he literally did an interview a long time ago, and they were like, hey, if you could be any superhero, who would you be? And this was like years ago. And he was like, I would love to be Spider-Man. And he's like, and then he got to be Spider-Man. So for him, it's like Peter Parker going, I wish I was a superhero. And it's like, I'm a superhero. Right. Holy shit. And it's like, it's not acting. Like, it's coming through like him for real being like, holy shit, there's Iron Man. Like, he's excited about it, and it comes through, and that's super fucking cool.
Like, in the beginning sequence when he's like filming, he's like, I did all this shit. He's a child. Like, he's playing 15. He's 15 in the movie,
and
he's like fucking hype.
Yeah,
and it feels like he's fucking hype.
I love that. I love that scene where they show all the recordings, and he's like talking to the camera. He's like, and then I was like, "Hey, everybody!" It's like, then I came in like this.
Man, I snatched the shield, and then I was like, "Hey, on the rules." I'm like, "Oh man, this is so fucking awesome!" I'm like, look, that shit was fucking awesome. Like it really was. And then, but
Happy Hogan's like, he's like, the walls are thin here. This shit was hilarious.
Sorry. But and also when they had the trailers, like, and they had him and Tony Stark, a lot of people were like, "Oh,
how much is Tony?
Really, how much is he going to be in here?" And he was in it for like 10 minutes.
Maybe
if that. And he was basically like a surrogate father to him.
Yeah,
but he's Tony Stark, shitty dad.
He's a fucking shitty ass father. He's like, we brought you out here to have all this fun, and then we don't need you anymore, nigga. Get out of here. But come on, dog.
The thing that really stood out to me was the ferry scene where, Peter thinks he's gonna get these guys,
if I can do this, then you will finally let me be on the team.
And then, of course, Tony had, using Peter's information about the Vulture and his crew, rounded up the FBI and put him on the ferry and didn't bother to fucking tell Peter about it. So, of course, Peter goes, and then Tony has to come in and scold him, even though that could have been avoided if Tony had just been like, "Hey, I'm sending in the FBI. Don't even worry about it.
Thanks to the information you gathered, we're going to go ahead and get these guys." But he let him do it. It's like, come on, he's a 15-year-old kid that can stop a fucking, what did he say? I can stop a bus with my bare hands.
Right.
Like, what the fuck do you think he's going to do?
Yeah, I'm not going to wait on the cops. Get out of here.
Fuck that.
Tony Stark is the worst dad.
He really is. But, and I do like at the end where he kind of like, he tried to play up like, "Hey, like, it's cool. Like, I expect you to do all that." I'm like, "No, you didn't."
Like, it was a test. I'm like, no, nigga, shut up.
He's like, "Oh, was this all a test?" Yeah, it was a test. Shit. I did. Okay, a couple of things. I was a little leery on the suit being as teched up as it was.
When I said that, that was one of my biggest pet peeves about the movie.
Because I want him to to do it.
The suit. I mean, it was part of the plot because it was like, okay, I have this cool ass suit, but I still have these powers. But this suit allows me to use my powers better. Yeah. But I'm like, it was almost to the point where he didn't have spider sense. He got dragged a lot.
Yeah,
he had shit thrown at him, and he didn't know it was coming. Like, how the fuck did you not know? There was one section when Vulture came out of nowhere and just grabbed his ass. I'm like, where's your spider sense, my nigga? What's going on?
Well, it's funny.
What's going on?
It's funny because
maybe it's growing pains, but at the same time, he's had these powers for a little bit of time at this point.
Well, John Watts, the director, said that he does have spidey sense because somebody asked him out there, like, "Dude, where is it?" Right?
Yeah.
But he says he does have it, but the problem was the other movies, he felt like they relied on it too much, of like the slowdown and all this other stuff. So they didn't want to do that in this one. So
I didn't really. I didn't need slowdown, but like he
should be aware.
Horrible situational awareness through this entire movie. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, and also now this was something that I thought was kind of interesting. Like, I don't remember if it was in Civil War or it might have been in Civil War. They talked about like he uses the reason why he made those shutters for his eyes, like in his original suit, was because he was hearing
sensory overload.
Right, he was getting sensory overload. So maybe that's something they play up in the next movie or Infinity War or whatever, like him kind of being able to calm the world so he can actually utilize his spidey sense more. I don't know, but who knows? So
I didn't have a problem with
the tech suit.
No, I mean, like, I liked it because like he's such a nerd. And, he can appreciate the tech that went into it. And, you have that scene in the hotel room where, like, he's, going in with his own computer and, like, picking that shit apart and whatnot. And I feel like without the teched up suit, we wouldn't have gotten that side of Peter and Ned.
Almost became a character in itself.
Yeah, I mean,
once he like pulled out the training wheels, like the suit became a character. A bit of a dick too, because he's like, "You don't know how to use this shit."
Yeah, what's going on, dude?
The fuck are you doing?
Right.
You didn't
do training manual, or
you passed your training, right? That's why you're able to do this, right? Like,
yeah, maybe. Well, and it's funny because, like as you're saying, like once the suit is fully unlocked, and then you actually get like more vocalization from the suit and everything else. Like, yeah, basically. And it's funny because that's I forget the actress's name. She's married to the guy who plays the Vision in real life. I can't remember the actress's name. But so incidentally, like they both play computer voices in the MCU, which is kind of funny. But once she fully gets realized as a suit, like I kind of dug it then. Like the scene in the warehouse was fucking great.
When you were just talking to her?
Yeah, because I like that. Because like one of the things about Spider-Man is he does spend a lot of time, like if you read the comics, he spends a lot of time in his head, right?
Yeah.
He's always like, oh, like I'm rereading the Ultimate Spider-Man from the beginning, right? And like he spends so much time dialoguing to himself. So in this case, they can still do that while having him talk to somebody that only he can hear, which actually is kind of smart. One of the things that I was glad happened at the end, and I hope that it becomes a thing for the future, is I'm super excited to see that fucking other suit, the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't take it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, don't take the fucking suit. It's too early. It's too early. But he should absolutely get that fucking
Infinity
suit.
War Part 2? Yes.
He should. And that suit better have the fucking gold legs. Because that shit would be amazing for that to be like, oh shit, like what's this do? And then they fucking come out and he's able to use those. That would blow people away who don't know about that suit particularly. So I don't know, man. I was down for it. I thought it was great. It really is a 5 out of 5 for me.
I think it's the best Spider-Man movie.
Oh
yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I also put it as like in the top 3 MCU movies for me. Like I really thought it was great.
I don't know that I would rank it that high.
I'm trying to find
like it's good. It's top half. But
yeah, for me it's like Winter Soldier, Guardians, Civil War. Like those are like top 3. So somewhere in there.
Guardians 1 or 2.
Guardians 1. Okay. Guardians 2 I thought was great, but I think Guardians 1 is I mean, it was something we hadn't seen before, so like it's slightly unfair to even say. But but it was great.
And really, both of the Guardians movies are like the MCU films that have like elicited a strong emotional response for me.
Yes.
That scene where he's under the rubble.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, you're hurting me, Peter. Like that shit. Like, he was screaming like a fucking kid, and you were like...
He's screaming not at Peter, but he was saying, get up, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was like, that feels too good. I was like my little nerd heart grew 3 sizes that day. Like, I was just like, that fucking felt perfect. And like, even in the review, when I was talking to Mike about that, I was saying like, there is a scene in this movie, and you will know it when you see it. That like right there, you're like, that's fucking Spider-Man, and because that's a very famous scene from an early book, and it's just like that's a moment where he truly became that character, and that was fucking awesome. It was just, and look, it goes to show you one major thing: Marvel knows their characters better than anybody.
Give a fuck about the source material.
Yeah, turns out.
Good job. But the thing is, like Sam Raimi loves Spider-Man, but he was just.
I don't know. I thought the first 2 Raimi films were pretty respectful of the source material.
I don't know what the fuck happened to the third one. Like, I damn near walked out.
What third one? What third one?
It
was not good.
Look, I love the first 2 Spider-Man films,
like, I like
and
Spider-Man
for
too.
me, they hold up really well. But I'm also coming from a slightly different perspective, where I was like 12 when the first one came out.
Yeah, I was 20. 20 or no, that's not true. 22.
First one came out in
2002.
Yeah, I was 22.
21.
So, for a kid like myself who was like hitting adolescence real hard.
Your mind was fucking blown.
That was the best.
Spider-Man is real.
Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie, one of my friends in the neighborhood, his dad came and got us from school and took us to see Spider-Man right after school one day. And that's when I was like, you're cool for like an old guy.
Meanwhile, that guy was 30, and you're like, you're so cool for an old guy.
Yeah.
He's our fucking age. Fuck you, Carrie. Get out of here.
Yeah, whatever.
That dude was like 37. Like, hey guys, you guys want to see Spider-Man? Like, whatever, old man. Like, get out of here. I'll be dead by the time I'm your age.
Now, the 2 amazing Spider-Man films, completely evaporated from my mind.
And the thing is, like,
I actually liked the first one.
Those. I didn't. Well, the second one.
The second one had suffered from all the same problems that Spider-Man 3 suffered from.
Yep, they tried to do too much.
Bloated.
Yeah. Where this one did that balance correctly, which is a villain, a bunch of other smaller villains who got a little bit of screen time, not too much.
We saw Shocker. We saw...
2 Shockers.
Right.
2 Shockers, the Tinkerer.
Yes.
And the Vulture. And it didn't feel overloaded.
Was it the Prowler or whatever?
Yeah, Prowler was there. Also, Matt Gargan.
Yeah.
Scorpion. So, like, it had a ton of fucking villains in it, but they weren't all like, I need a whole act to discover who I am. Like, no, you don't need all that.
No, it's just like, hey, here's a dude calling himself the Shocker because he's a douche and he has a glove that can shock people. He's the Shocker.
That's it. So I definitely want to see more from Bokeem Woodbine, the angriest man in America. But I thought he was good too. All right, let's move on. Science and Tech this week. The Hyperloop. We talked about this. This is Dr. Doom.
Fast.
Yeah, like crazy fast.
We're gonna go like Sonic the Hedgehog fast.
I don't think he can move quite this fast. So the Hyperloop is this basically this tunnel sort of that they.
It's a tube.
It's a tube. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for, but my brain was stupid. That uses maglev technology, and they're basically going to use this to do like long distance travel. Right. This is done by Dr. Doom himself, Elon Musk, and so they got their first tests done, and they got this thing to run in this vacuum tube up to 70 miles an hour. Right. Slowed it down. It was fine. Everything worked. The next test is to jump to 250 miles per hour, to work up to 250. But the ultimate goal, I never realized how fast the ultimate goal was. It's 750 miles per hour. That is crazy. Because don't NASCAR or Indy cars, don't they go like 200 miles an hour or something like that?
They do like 230.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fuck that. I'm not getting on this thing. 750. What is it?
You could get across. I think they were saying you could get from New York to LA in like 2 hours.
Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You not only have to build it, you have to build it and you have to protect it, right?
Yeah.
Because that thing is going to just be cruising across the entire United States. Like, you really have to make sure that thing is protected. Because, hey, sorry, the Hyperloop broke down. Like, we don't have enough time to stop it.
In the middle of Montana.
Oklahoma. Like,
get someone out there. There's no one there.
There's nobody there. Sorry. You're stuck.
You're fucked.
Nope.
But yeah, it's 750 miles per hour. That is pretty crazy. So
70. So how fast is the maglev trains in like Japan go?
They go like, I want to say 300 or 400 miles per hour.
Bullet trains?
Yeah.
I don't know that they go that fast.
Do they? Like,
I thought
fucking fast.
I thought the bullet trains in Japan went like at least 300 miles per hour.
To Google,
Yeah,
the maximum operating speed is 320 kilometers an hour, which is 200 miles per hour.
Okay, there you go. Jesus. So Elon Musk wants to go 750. Like, fuck the train. We got this thing. But I mean, that's crazy if he gets
like, if he can get that fast, that's awesome. But okay, you build it. What now? Just one across the country? What are you gonna have stops?
You're gonna have to have stops.
Stops and where?
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah, where are you gonna stop? Who in Oklahoma is gonna get the fucking Hyperloop?
Yeah, they not look.
Yeah,
look. They won't be referred to as flyover states. They'll be passover states because there ain't gonna be nothing in the middle.
Like, what the fuck?
Just tubes.
Like, it's gonna be like New York, and then fucking California. Okay. Who else?
DC.
In DC, yeah.
I mean,
how many of these would you have?
Well, okay. Think about it this way: you could have
that goes from like DC to New York. That would be fine.
Yeah, like, so think about it this way: you could have one that connects like New York to DC, DC to like Florida, right?
Ugh.
I mean,
no, there's no point.
You just blow up.
No,
Terrence would purposely blow up the Hyperloop down there. Fuck that. Just saw it off.
Look, if I can get to like Disney World in a tube and not have to
in 38 minutes.
Yeah.
Woo, I'm here. Like, the thing is, it goes so fast. By the time you think about being afraid, you're already there. So it's fine.
Yeah, you might just go to sleep for 10 minutes.
I mean, the idea of like being able to
nap.
get to New York in like 25 minutes is insane.
That's awesome. Without having to get on a plane or some bullshit like
but
that.
it would change. I mean, it would literally change the economy of the country, right? Because if you could work on the East Coast or the West Coast and live in the opposite place, or let's say for some odd reason they made stops in the Midwest, there's nobody there, but let's say they did, you could live in, one of those places and just jump on and fucking bolt over to New York.
Lived in like Kentucky and you worked in New York. Yeah, you'd live like a fucking king.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
or Georgia.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you could get to New York, I think they had talked about earlier, getting to New York from DC would take 30 to 45 minutes. So let's say from Georgia it takes an hour, right? Hour and a half. People easily have an hour and a half commute. Some people do.
Yeah, cars. Yeah, fuck that. I
right?
can't stand that shit.
So if you could do that,
it took me an hour and a half to get to my job, and I'm coming from fucking Randallstown to Towson.
Right, exactly. On a road.
Yeah.
So not in a vacuum tube, right? So if you could do that, it would legitimately change the economy of the country because anybody would have access for higher paying jobs in New York City or LA or something like that.
Now, do you think employers would, corporations are fucking trash?
Oh, they're going to figure out a way to fuck you over.
You live in Georgia, but you work out in New York. Your pay ain't going to be that much. We know how much it costs to live in Georgia, nigga.
But here's the question. How much does it take? How much does it cost to take the fucking Hyperloop, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm going to need you to put in, like, you literally, like, people start pricing in the Hyperloop ticket, like a monthly Hyperloop ticket for a job in Georgia,
Yeah.
to live in New York. Like, it's crazy.
Nah, that shit probably like $7,000 a month.
Yeah.
To get to and from.
It would be interesting to see what the cost to go coast to coast is on this thing. Like, if it's less than a plane ticket, and you could get there in like 2
if it's
hours.
Less than a plane ticket, I would jump on that.
Fuck yes, dude. Can you imagine if it was like Amtrak prices or something like that? Right? Like, it's $100 to go New York to LA. Fuck yes.
Yeah.
In 2 hours? Fuck yeah, dude. I could be hanging out on the beach and then be back home before dinner. Like, that's amazing.
You could take a day trip to fucking LA.
You could.
That'd be pretty cool.
It's 2017. 2030, maybe we're doing this. Like,
how old would I be? 50.
Yeah, well, you'd be old then. Like, I ain't getting in no tube.
No goddamn old and black.
You getting that tube? You tell me how it is. I mean, that's probably exactly going to be my response, actually. But no, I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty big deal. I mean, obviously, 70 miles an hour is not that big of a deal, but those guys progress pretty fast in the SpaceX stuff. So I expect in like 6 months, it's like the Hyperloop is at 1,000 miles per hour. Like, okay,
we didn't ask for that, but all right, fine.
Be in New York in 8 minutes.
I would love to be in New York. I've got so many friends in New York. I hate fucking driving to New York. I hate it.
It's the fucking worst to drive there.
You know what I did a week ago? Drive to fucking Newark, New Jersey.
Ugh.
And
Did
back
you drive through
in
it?
a day. No, I stopped.
Oh my god!
Ugh.
Did you not get murdered?
Surprisingly, no. I pulled right into the Prudential Center and I saw New Kids on the block, and then I
you drove right
home.
the fuck home. Yeah, yeah. You didn't go anywhere else in Newark.
Nah.
No, that's fucking Stabsville. That's what that is. Get the fuck out of here.
I stayed within a single block.
Yeah, Jersey.
All for my boy bands.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
That doesn't feel worth it to me.
Not
the boy band part. I mean, just going to Newark in general. Nah, not risking it. Next up, first world country China does something pretty amazing. Chinese scientists, according to BBC reports, have managed to teleport an object from Earth to the orbit around the planet in space. Apparently, they were able to go to the Gobi Desert and teleport a photon from the Gobi Desert to a satellite orbiting the Earth 300 miles away from the Earth. So basically, what it says is an eerie phenomenon in which the complete properties of one particle are instantaneously transferred to another, in effect teleporting it to a distant location. So it's technically teleporting because this is the age-old argument, right? Like, would you get in a teleporter like in Star Trek? And people go, no, because in order to actually teleport, they would destroy you and make a carbon copy of you, right? So it's not really you moving. But that's basically what they did. But this is the first time they've been able to do it, which is so they're using basically quantum mechanics to do this. Now, when I saw this article, I was like, oh, okay, like the implications of like shipping things is kind of cool, right? Like it would be instantaneous. Like, hey, Amazon, there it is. I don't care if it gets destroyed. Like, is it the stuff I ordered or not, right? Like, so that's kind of cool. But actually, the article goes on to talk about this could make for a quantum internet, which would be unhackable. So basically, you would take entangled photons, and that would hold your encoded data, and then you'd pass that through this network. And if anybody tried to read that data or be there, it would immediately become aware of it. And so it'd be like, no, can't do it. Now the article says it's unhackable. Hold on, because I feel like you don't understand how humans work. Anytime you say something can't be done, they figure out a way to fuck it up. Yep. So it is kind of interesting, though. So the article says a new form of communication network in which information would be encoded by the quantum states of entangled photons rather than strings of zeros and ones. And then again, that data would be moved instantaneously. But that's pretty cool. So teleportation
900 times in the 32-day span.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we are far and away from being to a point where we can transfer human beings because fuck that. Like, look, you're there, but you can't remember anything. Like, that's no. Like, I don't. Or your brain is blank. Sorry, your brain waves didn't make it through. Like, fuck that. No, get out of here. Or sorry, your bones didn't make it, and you're just like a pile of mush. You know, you're the fucking guy from RoboCop. Nobody wants that. But the idea of like shipping things or making it so that, like, think about it like, okay, you're in an African country and they don't have access to clean water or they don't have access to certain crops or foods. You could just be like, and it's fucking there, and it's like, oh, cool, thanks. I'll take this, whatever, wheat or what have you. So that's kind of an interesting idea to play with. Also, an unhackable internet would be really good. Topical. So no stupid tech this week. Comic news. So before I get into this, I did mention I am reading through Ultimate Spider-Man. It's amazing how much they took from this for the movies. Like, so if you're actually really interested to see a lot of the same characters and stuff like that, or interpretations of those characters, Ultimate Spider-Man is really good. And it's on the Marvel Unlimited app, obviously, but it's also available on Comixology's Unlimited as well. So it's good. It's very good. The artwork is very 90s.
Yeah.
It's super. I'm like, ooh, we need to really get through these early books because it's not great, but the story is really good. All right. So Green Lantern's origin is being sort of reimagined.
Well, Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan's is being reimagined in Earth 1. I've never read any of these Earth 1s. Have you, Jerry?
No, I don't really read a ton of DC shit. I mean, part of the problem is at work, I get everything on a week-to-week basis except for DCs and IDWs. Those two get sent to us monthly. And by the time they get shipped to us, I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. So
other things are happening.
Yeah, other things are going on. I have too much else to keep up with. I mean, Hal Jordan is, I would say, by far and away the most popular Green Lantern.
Oh, definitely.
Silver Age Green Lantern, when Green Lantern got turned into Space Police, like everybody else in the Silver Age did. Hawkman got turned into Space Police. I believe Martian Manhunter got turned into Space Police. Everyone was Space Police in the 1950s.
It was a cool thing. It was hip.
Green Lantern is the only Space Police story that's stuck.
Right.
Golden Age Green Lantern is weird. Is super weird.
Isn't that the one with to do with magic?
Yeah, he's got like a cape.
Yeah, no, that dude is
magic and.
Didn't they sort of like retrofitted his story, right? Like he's He's a part of the LGBT community.
I don't know, man. I don't pay attention to Golden Age Green Lantern.
Somebody did. They were like, we need a Green Lantern to be gay. And they were like, which one? I don't know. The
first one.
The one no one remembers. Good. Thanks, DC. That's kind of fucked up.
But yeah, so they're doing this Earth One graphic novel project. So they're kind of rebooting Hal Jordan's origin story.
Yeah,
whatever.
so they're making him they're having him be a basically they're kind of doing like an interstellar kind of thing is what the artist was talking about.
Okay.
So the idea is that Hal Jordan is actually going to be working for Ferris Global or whatever it is, or Ferris Galactic. And so they actually do space travel stuff. And so they'll reimagine him as this badass astronaut and scientist, and then probably the same general story.
Yeah.
So look forward to that.
Instead of just like a guy.
I'm just a pilot. Like, all right.
Here's a ring
Like-
that can do anything.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Like, oh, early comic books. You're so weird. Next up, so there's a miniseries being started called Batman White Knight, which is going to be done by Sean Gordon Murphy. This one is going to posit the Joker and Harley as good guys trying to help Gotham, and Batman being this overzealous vigilante bad guy. So they're trying to flip it and see what that'd be like. I'm like, well, Batman is kind of already an overzealous vigilante.
Yeah, that's what he is.
But I guess he's going to murder people. So Thomas Wayne, then. I guess that's what we're dealing with. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see the Joker as a good guy. That's kind of fun.
That's the only thing that stands out to me as even remotely interesting. I am so sick of the Batman oversaturation that we've been in for the last decade.
Decade.
I mean, as far as
35
like...
I was like,
Well-
go further. Since 1989, really.
I mean, yeah, basically since Dark Knight. No, I'm tired of Batman. Well, I mean, I will say I'm tired of gritty, dark.
You're
Batman.
you're 60s
I
Bat
love
2C fucking Adam West Batman.
60s, like silver Bronze Age Batman. I like my Batman, and Batman from the animated series was like a perfect balance of like a Bruce Wayne who had a good sense of humor, and then Batman who was somewhat sympathetic towards his rogues gallery.
Yeah. Not the new Batman.
No.
Just beats the shit out of people until they stop moving.
Yeah, that's fucking funny. Like, they make reference to that in fucking the Injustice 2.
Yeah.
There's a sequence where he just beats the shit out of this goddamn cop. Or it's like as a security guard, and Damian Wayne is like, oh, you don't believe in killing people, but you beat them into submission, into like a coma. That's cool. All right. He's like,
That doesn't...
whatever.
Like, bones are still being broken. Bruce, you psycho.
Like,
Yeah.
I find it interesting that he's the White Knight and he's a bad guy.
I think White Knight, I think that might be a reference to Joker, actually. Ironically, going the other way.
Is that right?
We'll see. I mean, I gotta say, I don't know who is doing the artwork for this, but it looks like the same guy who did the artwork for The Wake, which is easily one of my favorite sort of miniseries that should be absolutely made into a movie. I don't know why Hollywood has not done it. It is a perfect fucking story for a movie. It's basically The Thing with killer mermaid monsters that are fucking terrifying.
Great.
Everyone should read The Wake. It's really good. It's only 10 issues. Question of the week. So I'm just going to read just a few of these. So the question was, we talked about Robert Downey Jr.'s thoughts on when to leave the Iron Man Tony Stark role. Do you think the role should be recast or the character retired forever? Michael says it's hard to say. At this point, it feels like Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. He plays him so well, it just wouldn't feel right to recast. Since the MCU essentially is its own comic book story, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if he took a break from the MCU altogether. If they decided to recast Tony, I hope they do it further down the road. They could give Iron Man a rest for a while and then bring him back recasted. Then again, we still don't know who's going to die in Infinity War. It wouldn't surprise me if Tony dies since he's already cheated death so many times before. see. Mark says, I think by now he's too associated with the role, so it couldn't really get another Tony Stark, but you can get another Iron Man. Have Rhodes take over the Iron Man suit, or have his own solo War Machine series, or change the god-awful first name of Riri Williams, I agree, and bring her in to take over. I'm thinking someone like Shanice Williams could pull her off. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
Downey is just too ingrained in our minds as Tony Stark to think about recasting. Mark says, retire. There are plenty of characters in Marvel that can take up the mantle of Iron Man, such as Ironheart, War Machine, and in Micah's wet dream fantasy, Doctor Doom as the infamous Iron Man. Kelly says, retire Tony Stark and bring in Riri. One by one, replace the other old heads with younger characters. That way you can have Marvel movies forever. Cam says, I think Thanos should murder the fuck out of him. That is all. Cam sucks. Max says, just retire the character. It's been a good run, but might as well introduce a new character. What do you think, Carrie?
Yeah, I would rather them just like move on to a different character than try to recast Tony Stark. I mean, keeping in mind, Iron Man was the first MCU film. So he set the stage for everything that has come since.
Yep.
And I feel like it would almost be, I don't know if disrespectful is the word that I want to use, but it's the one that comes to mind to recast him, particularly when there's other options to have an Iron Man character. And if Robert Downey Jr. wants to take a decade off and go do other shit and not have to worry about Marvel films, at least leave the door open for him to come back in some sort of mentor role somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. What do you think, Terrence?
I don't think you can recast him.
You think he's too big?
Yeah, he's Tony Stark in this universe. You can't recast.
Do you feel the same
way? I
way
didn't
about
even like the first fucking Iron Man movie.
I mean, he's well ingrained in that role.
Yeah.
That's not even a question. Do you feel the same way about Captain America?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Right.
Because I really don't anytime there's an article like Chris, I was thinking about leaving. I'm like don't leave us, Cap. You're so good. He's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I would say I feel the same way about Thor also.
Yeah. But here's the problem, right? Those three characters, much like the three at DC, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, they are the center of those universes, right? Like every major story centers around those three characters. That's why when DC reboots everything, it's like those three characters went missing and now they're back, right? Like they are the center of that universe. They have kicked off every major thing. So it's really hard to say, do you just get rid of Tony Stark because he's such an important character? I do like the idea of combining several of these people's thoughts, which is bring in somebody like Riri Williams, which it should be Rihanna. Like that name is a white person came up with that. It sounds obnoxious. Please stop doing it.
Rihanna calls herself Riri.
Yes, but that's not her real name. But bring her in as the Iron Man replacement.
Right.
But have Tony fucking shepherd her like through a movie, like one movie or two movies or something like that. Have him shepherd her in. Everybody fucking loves her. Like, oh, she's fucking Iron Man. Badass. It's great. And then you leave that door open. If they want to bring Tony back as like, he could just not get in the suit anymore. It's just, I'm fucking Robert Downey Jr. because he's Tony Stark.
Right.
Because that's who he really is, right?
Yeah.
Like he personifies Tony Stark more than anything. But you could bring him back whenever you wanted to, if he was willing to do that at any time. Or you could let him go away and then recast him and then bring him back. If you let him go away for 4 or 5 movies, like, or 2 phases, and then we're like, all right, we found a fucking Robert Downey Jr. replacement, people would be like, all right. They'd be like, okay, like we've been used to him being gone. But I think trying to recast him like from one movie to another,
that's not gonna work.
People would be like, fuck this, because they would never give him a chance.
Right.
I mean, look how they had to. Here's how powerful it is to be in the MCU. They had to introduce Mark Ruffalo, they had to bring him out at San Diego Comic-Con with Robert Downey Jr. physically, be like, my buddy, Mark Ruffalo, he's cool with me, don't get mad, so that people would accept him. And it was fucking Ed Norton, who was in one movie, who was fine. Can you imagine them trying to do that with the guy who's as beloved as Robert Downey Jr.? I don't think so.
No.
So I think the better thing is to leave the door open, like you said, and either do the recast down the road, 1 or 2 phases. And I think that's how you have to do Cap and Thor too. Like you can't switch them.
You know, also with Cap and with Thor, you have other options for people who can come in and
take over the mantle, right?
Captain America or Thor. Though I don't think Natalie Portman is about to.
No, fuck that. Recast. If you're gonna make it Jane Foster, recast her.
Yeah.
You need somebody who can like really get into that role. Like
right.
She always kind of felt like a tack on character, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because she's a good actress, but she just never felt like her heart was in it. He's like, I don't know, Thor, whatever. So
I get to like smooch on Chris Hemsworth. Cool, I'm in.
Yeah,
like awesome.
I feel like that was literally. She was like, "Oh, who's playing Thor?" And they showed her a picture of Chris Hemsworth with no shirt on. She's like, "I'm in."
Yeah, here for it.
They're like, "You didn't need to. We just need you to sign the contract. You didn't need to give us your panties. Send over to Chris Hemsworth." And she's like, "No, but you do." So next up. Make sure you go to the nerdpocalypse.com/Amazon. Use that link when you buy anything on Amazon. As long as you use that link, we get a little bit of a kickback, and you don't pay anything extra, but it's a great way to help out the show. Lightning round this week. Ryan Reynolds possibly the lead in a Rainbow Six live-action movie?
No.
I've never played any of those games.
What's the point?
Are you saying no to Rainbow Six at all?
Yeah, period.
Okay, that's fair.
It's just a fucking military movie.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
I don't care about this at all.
Covert ops. Like, all right, fine.
I mean, apparently they have like a title character who's been the title character for this entire game series.
I don't know that I believe that.
Jack Ryan.
It's not Jack Ryan. It's John Clark. Another incredibly boring white name.
John Clark.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's not Sam Fisher, so I don't care.
There you go. Yeah, that movie never got off the ground either.
Nope.
That was supposed to be Tom Hardy.
If they're gonna do a fucking Tom Clancy video game movie, Splinter Cell should be it.
Splinter Cell would be pretty fucking cool. Just because visually, it's a cool looking character with the fucking visor. Like it looks unique, right?
Yeah.
It looks awesome, but like you'd have to give Michael Ironside to fucking dub over the voice through the whole movie.
Big as this be.
Like that new one that came out.
There was a new one.
It's not.
Wasn't that with Kiefer
it came out
Sutherland?
like 2 years ago.
Wasn't that Kiefer Sutherland?
No, that was Metal Gear Solid.
That was Metal Gear.
It
was.
And then of course there turned out to be.
He had like 7 lines.
Yeah, there turned out to be like a reason that they cast Kiefer Sutherland in the role of Snake for that particular game.
Why?
Because it wasn't like real Snake.
Oh,
it was a different guy, in Metal Gear Solid 5. Spoilers.
I didn't know anything. I didn't finish it.
Yeah, it's literally some guy who they like.
Those games are fucking confusing.
Look, Kojima is a lunatic.
He's a psychopath.
They got a different guy and they like turned him into Snake and they fucking brainwashed him into thinking he was Big Boss, and that's why it was a different voice actor for Metal Gear Solid 5 because it wasn't really Big Boss.
Jesus,
it was like medium boss. Fucking
schmedium boss.
Diet boss.
Whatever. Yeah,
I don't. I've wanted to watch
half the lines. Yeah, it was diet boss. Fucking. It's so weird. I
may sit down and watch the Metal Gear Solid movie, which is like
it's like 17 hours long.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I was like, that's like Lord of the Rings. That's like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's actually longer.
All the cutscenes.
Yeah, all the cutscenes combined. If you take all of the Metal Gear Solid cutscenes combined, that's just like 7 hours.
It's something like that because I looked it up. I think it's like 7 or 8 hours.
Insane.
Yeah.
Like the last cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 4 was 2 or an hour and a half. It was like 90 minutes.
Are they interesting to watch? Or are they just insane?
You asking me? I don't know what the fuck is going on in those games. So I'm like,
I don't know. I find the story of Metal Gear interesting. I'm bad at stealth games,
So you're just like, oh, cutscene. Yeah. Just let me sit this controller down. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Was this 2 hours?
Or a fucking pizza. Like you could literally order a pizza and watch the goddamn final cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 4.
No, you're right.
It's a movie.
Yeah, you're right.
It's legitimately a movie, and we've talked about this. Wow.
It sounds insane. I may do myself a terrible favor and do that. And then I'll blow my brains out right at the end because it won't be worth it. Next up, Arrested Development. Jason Bateman hints at 2 more seasons of the show after this upcoming one. He says it's basically the upcoming one is the middle of a 3X story. So,
cool.
Yeah, I like Arrested Development. The last season was terrible because none of the characters were together, but for some reason they split it up like that. But they're going back to the traditional seasons going forward, which is great because that show was
one
hilarious.
thing that stood out to me was the one actress's face was different.
Who is that?
God, I can't remember her name. She's like the sister.
Oh, Portia de Rossi?
Yeah. Her face was super different.
Did she have like facial surgery or something?
Oh, yeah.
That's a shame because she's really pretty, actually. She really doesn't, Ellen is so lucky. Because Ellen is the most generic-looking lesbian I've ever seen. Sorry.
I mean,
I love Ellen.
But she is like the lesbian template.
Yeah, no,
her and Rachel Maddow.
Yeah, look,
They're damn near similar.
look, don't
Rachel Maddow
don't say anything.
is far more intelligent.
look, don't. No, I think Ellen's very smart.
She's
like,
super smart, but I mean, like, if we're gonna,
let's not talk
like-
about Bay.
Is Rachel Maddow Bay?
Look. If I was a lesbian, I would fight. I would fight Rachel Maddow's girlfriend for her hand. I would. I love Rachel Maddow, dude.
Oh, man.
I might even do it now.
Okay.
You know what? We can try this. Let's see if we can make something happen.
I don't think it's up to you.
No.
That's
Oh.
funny.
Right? You can turn them, right? Isn't that how it works? That is not how it works.
No.
What if I really thought that?
There are people that do think
I
that.
know. They're like, Spike Lee in that fucking movie. It's like, all lesbians need is a dick
She
down.
Hate Me.
What?
Yeah, that movie is.
Yeah, there's a movie that's offensive. Hey, I consulted with lesbians and they told me this movie was okay. No, they didn't.
No.
They really didn't.
No.
Or those women weren't lesbians. They were bisexual. Next up, Andy Serkis, known mocap freak, is his next major film is going to be Animal Farm, which if you've never
I'll see it.
fucking of course, right? He's directing 2 movies, which is also interesting. He's directing Andrew Garfield in Breathe, and then he's also going to be in Jungle Book, which gets released in 2018. But Animal Farm, if you don't know, a very famous book by George Orwell, is basically about
Communism.
Yeah, about Stalinist Russia. So
Animals. And
One of
pigs.
my favorite books, though.
is that right?
Yeah, I love George Orwell.
Yeah.
Just good shit.
It was funny because I was reading something about him today, and he said that Animal Farm was his most deliberate book. Like, I had a fucking political message, and I wanted to make sure that everyone heard it. It was like, yeah, we got it, loud and clear, dude.
I'm surprised that he wouldn't have said 1984 was his most deliberate book.
Yeah, all right, that's fair.
Like, though of course 1984 was like a vision of the future, whereas Animal Farm was like, this is happening now.
Right now. Fuck Joseph Stalin. It's like, he's not here, is he? Oh shit, I gotta get out of here. Joseph Stalin is trying to murder me.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that dystopian shit.
Absolutely. And now we're living it.
Yeah.
I feel sad now.
Topical. Next up, Quentin Tarantino's next film may revolve around the Manson murders. So this is kind of interesting. Apparently he has approached Brad Pitt, Jennifer Lawrence to be in it, but he's also approached Margot Robbie to play the lead, which I think is actually pretty smart. But if you don't know, the Manson murders are obviously about Charles Manson, because Charles Manson never actually physically murdered anybody.
He convinced other people to do
murder
it for him.
Right. People were like, let Charles Manson go. No.
yo.
No, fuck that. Put a bullet in Charles Manson's head. Why are we keeping him
Is
in
he still
jail?
alive?
Yes.
Yeah, he's still
And
in jail.
crazy in a shithouse rat.
I thought he was in like poor condition, in poor health.
He's
like
old.
recently. He's old as fuck.
I think recently there was some
He was
report.
like, I thought he died.
Nah,
That would be great.
He's still kicking. It's interesting because the Manson murders took place, you know,
In the hippie era.
Well, yeah, while my parents were cognizant of it. So that period of time has always kind of been interesting to me because that's something where I can go to my parents and be like, tell me about this.
How
Like,
high were you guys?
Fucking murder of a household full of people.
Well,
my
and it's
mother's
fucked up,
too much of a goody two shoes to have gotten toasty in that period.
well, those genes did not get passed on, did they?
No,
They did not. Drug addict. But no, but it is super interesting. But I mean, look, it's Tarantino, so I'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I feel like if anyone could make a compelling movie, like a compelling narrative, I mean, the story itself is compelling on its own.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love true crime shit. But if anyone could do a movie about that and do it well, I think it would be Tarantino.
Yeah, well, he's going to be able to get the twisted, fucked up parts absolutely down, and he's also going to be able to get that sort of Svengali kind of like, oh, I'm like just fucking around with these women and like
Right.
making them do what I want, manipulation shit. Like, yeah, that's like right in his fucking wheelhouse. So that's kind of interesting, and of course he's writing and directing it, so works for me.
Was Brad Pitt supposed to be playing?
He's gonna be Batman.
Wait, what?
No, I'm kidding.
I'm confused.
Like,
right now.
wait a
Like,
minute, what?
So he's gonna be playing Manson or what?
Oh,
Like I could see it. Look at the.
You know what?
he
That's
grown a
not-
fucking beard.
that's not
boy,
bad.
like
That's not bad, man. I didn't
Like,
like
he
when I
would-
read
he-
the article. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Like he could easily play that fucking real smooth fucking talking dude,
Well-
which is basically what Manson was. He was
yeah, no, he was super
Yeah.
smooth.
super intelligent.
just
Yeah.
have Brad Pitt grow that hair out.
Yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
we're
he
gonna
grew-
do. He's
he's-
already got the beard. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to put that on the docket. I tried to watch War Machine, that Brad Pitt movie on Netflix.
What the fuck
No.
is that? I don't even know what that is.
Don't do that. Don't.
War Machine? What is that about?
It's like he plays a general like that gets brought in to like handle the war in Afghanistan. It's supposed to be like a dark comedy. No. It was bad. Like it was bad. I got like 45 minutes into it. I was like, end of this.
I've never even heard of it.
Yep. Nope. That's fine. Trust me.
Was it Netflix exclusive?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
No, it was. I just did not enjoy it. Next up, Suicide Squad 2 gets their front runner for director, John Colette Sierra. Now, okay, here's the problem with this guy. He sucks. And I was like, this name sounds familiar. Then I looked it up. He directed Run All Night with Liam Neeson and Non-Stop with Liam Neeson.
The one on the plane?
Yes. Then he also
What
did,
y'all doing?
and his directorial debut was a little-known film, the 2005 horror classic House of Wax, starring one Paris Hilton. So, no.
What are they doing?
So is it possibly
What
going
did
to be
they
worse
see?
than the first one?
Yes.
There is depends on who's writing it, but decent chance.
Ugh.
Decent chance.
I still haven't seen the first one all the way through.
That's
I
not
watched like
it's not a loss.
no, I watched like half of it and I was like, well, this sucks, and I'm done. Like
It gets worse.
So, what did he direct where they were like, we made this first movie that no one liked. Let's get this dude to direct the second one.
I wonder
I
if-
really like his work.
Did you see The Shallows?
What the fuck is that?
A mere 200 yards from shore, surfer
Oh,
Nancy
yeah, that
is
movie.
attacked by a
Apparently-
great white shark.
He directed that?
Yes. Was that any good?
I didn't see it.
wonder if they were like,
it's
hey,
got it's I was gonna say it has a good rating.
I heard it- I
No.
heard it was decent.
It got a 6.5 out of 10 score
What
on
else?
IMDb.
Because all the other movies you said are trash.
One, yeah, they're terrible.
So,
One Chisper.
what?
One Chisper.
What is a chisper?
A terrible
that's
movie
a
that no one
Pokemon.
has heard of. Doesn't even have a score.
that's a good sign.
The Commuter. That's in post production, so it hasn't come out yet.
Great, cool.
Stars Patrick Wilson. I like that guy.
He's
Oh,
cool.
and look, it's also starring Liam Neeson. So I assume that Liam Neeson will be in Suicide Squad too. because that is clearly a pattern this guy has. He really likes Liam Neeson a lot.
What the fuck?
Non-stop.
Maybe he's
good.
Maybe there's something they see in him.
Yeah. How much do you want to charge us to do this?
How
Not a lot.
How quick can you get Liam Neeson on set?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they're good buddies.
Who is Liam Neeson going to play in this movie, guys?
Rick Flag.
They just replace. Yeah, you know what?
They could easily replace him. Fuck it. He was terrible.
That guy is a better actor than that.
Yeah, he is.
He's really good on House of Cards.
But yeah, get Liam Neeson to play Rick Flag.
That's fine. If that news comes out, I'm going to laugh my ass off. Daniel Craig sells out and decides to sign up for another Bond movie, even though he said he would never do it.
Yay!
Didn't he say he'd rather jump off a bridge or some shit like that than do another one?
Yeah. Well, when you get your front two teeth knocked out during a James Bond taping, you're not running back to do that. But
here for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's fine. I think he's a good Bond. Yeah. I don't know who's going to direct it, but I didn't see Spectre because it looked really boring. And then you.
I feel like I'm the only person on Earth who liked Spectre.
No, Brad loves Spectre. He loves it. He'd marry it if he could. Fuck you, Brad. I don't even know what that was for. But yeah, I'm going to be on that episode. I don't know how many episodes you got left before you do Spectre.
Not many.
It's like 8, maybe.
You're only like 8 months away.
I think I've got to be on for Quantum of Solace.
Oh, that movie is fuck garbage. Holy shit! You know that movie happened during the writer's strike. And Daniel Craig had to finish the script. He was like, I'm not a writer. No shit, Daniel Craig. Holy shit, that movie was bad.
But it did have Jack White doing the theme.
Is that your only reason for liking that movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Because there are no other logical reasons to like Quantum of Solace. No one likes that movie. No one. No one who's sane.
I'm sad that of the Bond films that Jack White could have done the theme for.
That's the one
he ended up being attached to.
Yeah. Well, speaking of theme songs, this one, the 25th Bond, is they're bringing Adele back to do the song.
Really?
Yeah, because fucking Skyfall.
Skyfall's a great song, but
it's not the first time they've done that. No. When's Beyonce gonna do one?
Yeah, she should do this one.
It should be Beyonce with Adele and Lady Gaga.
Oh shit. That's like
that's the fucking Triforce of power right there.
That they are the equivalent of Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor in fucking R&B. They are. Like if you had a concert with the three of them, those tickets would be like $4,000 a piece for seats
and
that
they
you
would
couldn't
sell
even see.
out immediately.
Yes, of course. Look, I don't even listen to that type of music. I would probably see that concert. I'd be like, well, I mean, they are really good. All right, it's fine. And then like Lady Gaga will come out in like a suit made of hot dogs or some weird shit. She's a crazy person. Movie and TV news this week. Matt Reeves, the director of War for the Planet of the Apes, is officially getting a page 1 rewrite for the Batman that he is directing, which is great news. This was something we kind of always knew once he came aboard, and it had been rumored, but now it's official. They are completely scrapping Affleck's script for a page 1
for
rewrite.
Someone who can write?
Well, I think Affleck can write. I just think that Affleck was working on the script during the time that he was getting a divorce, and apparently he had like alcoholism issues and stuff like that. Maybe now's not the time for you to be writing this movie. So, or
maybe it's the perfect time to be writing a movie.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, it's like, and then Batman kills his ex-wife, fucking Jennifer Garner. We're like, wait, dude, like that's not in the script. Like, don't do that. He just has like his Eminem. He's
wait,
like,
what?
That's true. Ugh, that woman was not attractive.
No,
dude.
Look, if you're gonna cheat, don't cheat. But if you're gonna cheat up.
Yeah, cheat up, dude. What do you?
I've been cheated on, and he cheated down, and I was like,
what are you doing? Like, you're Batman. You could find your Vicky Vale. Come on, man. What are you doing? Next up, Joe Pesci officially joins Martin Scorsese's The Irishman with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Look, I am very excited about this. This is a Netflix film. I cannot believe Martin Scorsese had to go to Netflix to get his movie made. It's fucking Martin Scorsese. But what's interesting is Joe Pesci turned this role down 50 times before saying yes.
What else is he doing?
They just like added another $1,000 to the table.
Yeah. Come on.
Come on, let's go.
I think Pesci wants to be retired. I think it's not that he doesn't want to be in a fucking Scorsese film. I think he was just like, dude, I just want to be retired because I'm tired of having my brains blown out by mobsters in all your fucking movies. Or like the last one, what was he in Casino, where they beat him to death with baseball bat.
Ditch.
Yeah. I watched that scene the other day on YouTube. I was like, Jesus Christ. That movie is so fucking good. Have you ever seen Casino?
No.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's a good mobster movie, but it's fucked up.
I don't watch a whole lot of mobster films.
If you're going to watch it, Martin Scorsese's are the best.
Yeah.
Because it's just a bunch of fucking fat asshole Italians just being dicks to each other. Like, that's all it is
Like,
for 2.5 hours.
I think the only one that I've seen, like, start to finish is the first Godfather movie.
I've never seen that from start to finish. Any of them.
Wow.
The door's over there.
Yeah,
Like-
too fucking long.
Wow, that's crazy.
Here's the thing.
Have you ever seen Goodfellas?
No.
I love Goodfellas, though.
Yo, Goodfellas is a fucking stellar movie. Why don't you go home and get your shine box and fucking takes that glass and bashes it up against his head? It's amazing. Pesci is so fucking good in that movie. Actually, everyone is good in that. Ray Liotta is perfect in that movie.
Yeah.
He's absolutely perfect. And it's also really funny. But Casino has one of the best scenes of all time where Joe Pesci is in the car. He gets in the car and he's talking to De Niro's wife. And she's like, oh, fucking De Niro's an asshole, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, that's crazy. And he just grabs her head and just like pushes it into his crotch. And he just like leans back. And then, of course, he gets murdered later in a brutal, brutal way. And he deserved it. He had to die. But yeah, The Irishman. So, hell yeah. I am up for those guys reuniting and killing Joe Pesci, I'm sure.
I'd be like, he'd probably be like, I can't die in this one. That's the only way I'll do this.
Like, please
if you don't murder
stop
me, I'll
murdering
do it.
me. And that's why he had to come back 50 times because Martin Scorsese's like, but I got this really good idea.
Like, how about if we do it this way? To fuck off. No.
50 different types.
Fine, we won't kill you. Shit.
You signed a contract? Yeah, change that shit. We're murdering this motherfucker. It's Joe Pesci. Everyone wants to see him die in movies. Next up, David Ayer, who directed Suicide Squad 1, will no longer direct Universal's Scarface remake.
We don't need this remake. I've never seen Scarface.
We don't.
But I don't need a remake either.
Here's the thing. It can't be as long as the original.
The funny part is, how long is the original?
It's like 3 hours.
Is it?
Yeah. I think it's almost 3 hours. What were you going to say? I'll look it up.
I want to,
Here, I'll look it up.
I was saying because, like, there are movies that we've gone to see. Like, movies are really fucking long now. Like, in general.
It's 170
like
minutes.
120.
It's 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's long.
That's long.
It's fucking long.
Like, I remember watching it all the way through its entirety, which wasn't that long ago. It was maybe like 10 years ago because I had never seen the entire movie. Like, this movie's not really good.
No, it's not.
It's not good, but it's enjoyable.
Well, it's one of those films. One, it's a cult classic, but it's one of those films that is far more about its parts than the whole, right? Where people are just like, yeah, that scene was really great, or this scene was great. And that's what I think people remember about that movie, less than like the actual plot and the incredibly offensive manner by which picking an Italian actor to play a Cuban immigrant. Super offensive. Really, really bad.
1980, whatever.
83. They were just like, it's the 80s. Everyone's racist. Fuck it. But apparently, they said that David Ayer's ideas for this movie were too dark. For Scarface? Jesus Christ.
What are you going to do? Like,
it can't be PG-13.
Yeah, it's going to be rated R, but...
What the fuck was David Ayer doing?
How much darker is it going to be than the original? Like, there was a scene where he chopped somebody up with a chainsaw in a bath. Well, they didn't show it because
David Ayer's like, show that shit.
Maybe.
Do it.
That's crazy.
He's like, you know what? I'll do it. Give me that chainsaw. They're like, that guy's an
I don't see... Too dark?
Yeah, that's a little crazy. But he's also incredibly booked on, because David Ayer's doing that movie on Netflix, Bright, with Will Smith. So his schedule's like really tight. But they also said, it's his script was a little too dark for the studio. I find that to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I don't think you can get too dark for Scarface. Like, guys, Scarface. He went out in a hail of gunfire after like snorting a ton of cocaine. with a machine gun and was murdered brilliantly. Like, yeah, hello, that's just the way it goes. Also, every black dude's gonna go see this because black people love Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've watched enough Cribs to know this.
You always got a copy of Scarface, a DVD of Scarface in it for some reason, or a picture.
I saw an episode of Cribs. I don't remember who the rapper was, but he had blinds that when he like put them down, it was Scarface. I was like, that is, and Carrie, shield your ears for a second. That was the most niggerish shit I've ever heard in my entire life. I was like, yo, come on, man. What are you doing?
Oh my God.
I feel like it was like 2 Chainz or something like that. Next up, this sounds like an idea that's not going to happen. Adi Shankar, who did Castlevania, which we shat upon earlier, he wants to tackle a Metroid series. No.
Look.
I feel like
it's going to take 3.5 episodes to get to her putting the suit on and going into space.
Look, I feel like Metroid has a pretty interesting narrative, like a pretty significant lore to it, where you could base an animated series off of it.
Yeah.
And have it be good.
A movie at the very least.
I don't know that he's the guy to do it. And the thing is, I don't know, because I know the Castlevania series has some like pretty significant violence in it.
They murder babies in that show.
And I don't know that the people,
like a lot of them.
I don't know that the people at Nintendo are going to look at his work in Castlevania and be like, yeah, we'll let you do Metroid, because like
our beloved fucking character,
right? Now,
yeah, I mean that's what I saw somebody's comment that was along the same lines. Like, yeah, is Nintendo going to allow this? I don't think so.
But Nintendo has said that they are interested in branching into different media and whatnot. Metroid's in the midst of a pretty significant comeback as far as the games are concerned.
Oh, is that right? Is there a new one coming out?
There's a new 2D one coming out this fall, and then Metroid Prime 4 was announced at E3, and that is rumored late next year.
Oh, okay.
So, you've got new games coming out. The series just celebrated its 30th anniversary.
Wow.
So it's not a bad time to do a Metroid series. And I feel like of the significant Nintendo properties, you've got Metroid and you've got Zelda as far as games that would, I think, translate really well to a serialized form. Zelda
would absolutely translate perfectly. 2, they already did it, and it was amazing.
The Zelda.
And I want that guy to come back to do the voice work for it. Because he was awesome.
Excuse me.
I was like, oh, Link is a fucking cunt. I get it. That kid is a jerk. But it worked for me. It worked.
If Castlevania's any indication, no thanks.
Oh.
It's so boring.
Give it to somebody. And plus, it's the woman. Just give it to a woman to do it.
Yeah.
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 So,
I mean, if you want it ruined, yeah, go ahead.
Boy!
Girls can't do things. Next up, Marvel's New Warriors gets their cast. So this is kind of interesting. I don't remember what this is coming on, but
it's Freeform.
Freeform, okay. So
is that the same shit that's
Freeform?
It's ABC Family.
Yeah, that's what
so it's getting
Cloak and Dagger is getting. Right. So the only character anybody really gives a fuck about is Squirrel Girl, right? Like, let's get real. The rest is Speedball, and a bunch of other fucking losers. And Night Thrasher, who's a black guy with a skateboard and like a scream of sticks. But the woman who got cast as Squirrel Girl is Milana Weintraub. Now, I only know her from This Is Us, and she plays kind of like Velma from fucking Scooby-Doo kind of character. It's like cute glasses, like goofball, like offbeat nerd kind of character, kind of a bit of a dork, which to me seems about right for this role.
For Doreen, yeah.
So I'm down with it. honestly, I don't know any of her other work. A lot of people, she did a couple of like web series. I saw like 1 or 2 clips. She was like kind of that same thing. So I don't know that it's really acting as much as it's just kind of who she is. But she's a good actress. Like she's actually very good on This Is Us. So that's fine. I wish this wasn't on Freeform, or if it is, I hope I can get it on the Roku, because otherwise I'll never see this.
I mean, it's ABC affiliated, so you can probably get it on something.
I'm just really interested to see how they're going to pull this off with a girl with a giant squirrel tail. And, like, is that just going to be, like, they're just not going to talk about that? Like, you're just a freak with a giant squirrel tail?
Well, I mean, like, she tucks it somehow into the booty area in the comics when she's, like, in school and whatnot. Like, she doesn't have it out. Yeah. I don't know how it works.
Don't ask how. Don't ask how. That's the wrong question.
Yeah, okay. Like...
Comic books.
Unbeatable Squirrel Girl has become one of my favorite ongoing series from Marvel.
It's pretty funny.
Over the last couple of years. So I'm a little disappointed that they didn't cast a thick girl to play Doreen.
She used to be thicker.
But I want to try to reserve judgment until it comes out.
All right.
I'm just like...
I don't have any any dog in the fight, but I hope this is good, because it would be kind of cool if they had a fun sort of teenagey series that worked on Freeform.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw like a brief trailer of sorts for Cloak and Dagger, which looks really super serious.
Yeah.
Which makes sense for that book. So it'll be kind of fun to see like these characters. Hopefully, like they do like the TV show where they're like, hey, we're like superheroes and like kicking ass and stuff like that, and then they cause like civil war. But that would be kind of fun if that happens. So we'll see. My dog is such a weirdo. He moved his bed to lay down behind it. Okay. Love you, buddy. Next up, this is super fucking strange. So, Wonder Woman 2, they're working on the script for it now, but they're saying that it's being rumored that it's going to be set in the 1980s during the Cold War, and then Chris Pine is going to come back as Steve Trevor. What?
I still haven't seen the first one, but didn't that take place in World War I?
Yes. Spoiler alert. Chris Pine dies.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like
Captain America?
They're gonna
he literally dies in a plane, very similar.
Yeah, they're gonna Winter Soldier that shit, and they're gonna be like, the Russians found his body.
You think so? I think he's gonna come back as a flashback.
He's probably just gonna be a flashback.
Just the ghost of Steve Trevor. Remember me? We banged once. It was pretty great. Don't fuck Batman.
The 80s?
But yeah, why are they making another period piece? I would think they would bring much like Captain America, because they're kind of analogs of each other in a lot of ways. Like, bring her into the modern day and have her fight Cheeto or something.
Isn't the Justice League coming out like next year?
Yeah.
That's not next year. That's this year.
What?
Isn't that this year?
You sure? I don't think so.
I don't know. Anyway, but like, why would you bring her into the Justice League and then be like, Ed, back in the 80s, she did this shit?
November 17th.
This year?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like Thor and Justice League are the last two.
So why would you take her back in the past?
I don't understand that.
Because they want to have a sick soundtrack filled with the sounds of Tears for Fears and Aha.
Yo.
I mean, that's fair. Like, I mean, you're swaying me on this. Like I'm already like I'm 90% on board now. I do like me some Tears for Fears.
Action
I saw them
with
live.
Tears for Fears playing in the background.
Everybody wants to rule the world. Come on, that just makes sense.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it does, but like, I don't know. Yeah.
Terrence, not a lover of 80s music, you fucking bastard.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why they would do this. Also, there was a whole thing about Batman versus Superman. They're like, she hasn't been around, and like, we saw this picture from World War I, but we haven't seen her in this long time.
We didn't see her in a Polaroid from 1980.
Yeah, like they would have a picture of her, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Doing something like she's not.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
She's not exactly covert.
No, she's wearing a bright ass blue metal brassiere punching Soviets. Hey guys, I think I remember her. Also, those people would be alive in modern day. Like, dude, there's Wonder Woman. I remember her. I was a kid then. Hello.
Right.
Also, the Cold War wasn't an actual war, so that's not really that interesting. Ooh, she's a spy?
Yeah, like...
No.
Stop.
We need you to go in and stop whatever the fuck happened. But she's going to punch people through walls. Like I said, that's not very covert.
Hey guys, I'm here. It's me, Wonder Woman. Bam! There's a scene in the movie, the Solo movie, where there's a sniper in a fucking like bell tower, and she basically does like a fastball special off a ramp and just jumps up to the tower. But she's fucking a tank, and she just blows the top of the tower up. It's like, I think that guy's dead.
Like, you think she's gonna punch the guy. Because, like, you see him real quick aiming his gun. You think she's gonna punch that dude.
No.
And
the camera pulls out, it's like, boom, and it's just gone. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't think this is a good agent for the Cold War. Feels wrong. Feels overblown.
I think I'm going to see it this weekend.
It's good. It's a really good movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. Definitely DC's best. So make sure you sign up for premium content. If you are listening, you're only getting the audio version right now. Sign up for premium content. Go to thenerdpocalypse.com/premium. It'll take you right there. You can sign up. It's $5 a month or $50 for the full year. You get full video versions of this show. You get all of our premium shows, Airing of Grievances, which we just did a new episode where we made fun of Terrence for likely pulling his dick out to a random woman he was on a date with. That didn't happen, but we're making that up because it was funny to say in the moment. Because that's the type of personality Terrence has.
Yeah, that's exactly the type of personality I have. Whip my dick out and put it on the table during a date. That's exactly what I did. It worked.
It worked for me. But that's our Seinfeld show. You can also listen to our James Bond show, The Men with the Golden Tongues, which is not about taking your dick out, ironically. And then there's full episodes to look forward, which is our political podcast that I co-host with Andy every week as well. And you want to listen to that because everything is fucking insane.
Everything's on fire.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
so make sure you sign up just like H. Lou did, JL, and K-Jet, I will say. Because I don't have their names anymore. I just have their email addresses, and I don't want to give them away. So I'm just going to call you some variation of your name, but I know who you are. So sign up just like those guys, and it's really great because there's a lot of fucking content. There's a ton of content. And Dense Pixels is getting ready to start a new show here soon as well.
Yep.
All right. So, What the Fuck, brought to you by JTD. Oh boy.
This is exactly what I expected.
Mm-hmm. I told JTD that you were going to be on the show, so
Yeah,
I said, bring the fuckery from Japan, and he did.
Literally, as soon as I said, I'm available to be on the show tonight, I was like, I want to get that fucking story about dudes in Japan and sex dolls. And lo and behold...
From India.com.
Here we are. Yeah, why
casting? How dare you, India, cast aspersions on Japan? You are equally as fucked up. Don't do that.
So basically, there's a trend in Japan where men in the country are choosing basically real dolls over actual women. There are basically middle-aged men finding true love and a companion in sex dolls. Many of these men are married, which is...
Wait, they are married?
Yes.
What?
So these sex dolls are their mistresses? Is that what we're doing?
Basically, this one guy, Masayuki Ozaki, said that he felt a deep sense of loneliness before, quote, meeting his sex doll, Mayu. He was quoted saying, after my wife had given birth, we stopped having sex, and I felt a deep sense of loneliness. But the moment I saw Mayu in the showroom, it was love at first sight. He takes his sex doll girlfriend on dates.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking work.
It is.
Like, I'm not carrying you. He's got to carry a doll around and take him on dates. Like, that's
his
girlfriend. This dude's wife and daughter.
Did they leave him?
They're still there somehow. I don't
Japanese
really know
people don't fuck, guys.
I don't.
Like, that's a fact.
I mean, like
Yeah,
that's an actual problem.
Like they're not fucking.
This kind of goes. It's a companion to that fucking article that I put in the Nerdpocalypse.com/fans. Yeah, They don't fuck.
Was
There's
it
like a lot of 30-year-old virgins.
It was 43% of people 30 and below who are virgins.
Yeah, they were like
43%.
They were like the guys are like we're intimidated by the women.
Bruh, you gotta.
Japanese girls are cute.
Look,
I don't
look, Japanese men. Like a quick aside, Japanese men, fuck your women before other people come over there and fuck them for you.
We had a fucking group full of savages ready to take a trip to fucking Japan.
Dude, they were like putting their money together. They're like, all right, let's like if we pool it together, we can get a discount rate. One jumbo fucking jet heading over to Japan, one-way ticket.
Fuck every woman in Japan.
Look,
like they're probably like, what the fuck is happening?
It's actually really kind of sad.
Like, what are the women thinking about this? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, are we not attractive enough? Like, that's kind of weird.
Beauty standards in Japan are fucked up.
They're
I don't
super
even know
high
what the hell
crazy.
kind of beauty. I don't know what their beauty standards are. I
Like,
really don't.
You
The
think
whiter
beauty
you
standards
are-
extremely pale skin,
Sorry, man.
waifish
Nope,
kind
gross.
of body.
Gross.
I'm gonna need a titty. Sorry,
Yeah.
need something to
Anyway,
grab onto.
this dude's wife said, I just
No
get on
ass.
with the housework. I make dinner. I clean. I do the washing. I choose sleep over sex.
And I jizz into my plastic doll girlfriend.
Well, that's this dude. Yeah. So anyway,
Yo, nah, man.
it's weird. It's a long story.
Do you would you stick around if your husband
No.
was?
No.
He was like, this is Beverly.
No.
This is me, you. Like, well,
No.
I'm going to see you later.
Fuck off.
Like,
No,
that's bullshit.
absolutely
Dude.
not.
But like he's not. I mean, he's not technically cheating on you. He's just whispering
I
sweet
would consider
nothings
that.
into an
I would
animated.
consider that cheating.
Would you?
Adult.
I would, for the sake of my standards of cheating. You want to get physical with something else that you are forming an emotional attachment with.
What about his hand? Because that hand has been there longer than you,
Yeah, that
and it'll
hand
be
has
there
been his- that
long
hand
when
has
you're
been his
gone
butt.
too.
I don't know. That's.
Does he whisper at his hand anytime? Do you ever catch him like
No,
she's gonna be from work soon?
I don't know. Like that. That would be. That's a breach of trust.
Yeah, I
think,
agree
at that point.
This is fucking weird.
But
man.
also,
And it's also
I,
super
adult.
weird.
I fuck my husband, so I'm not giving him any reason to even think about something like this.
He's like on Amazon. She's like, no, you don't, motherfucker. Get over here. He's like, I was buying a game.
I was
Calm
gonna buy a fucking Switch. Please stop.
Why do you keep harassing me every time I go to buy something online? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? No, it's fucked up, man. Like, don't fuck dolls, man. Like, it's a real problem.
I mean, I also think that this isn't the first time that we've seen stories like this. As far
It's
as
like every week.
yeah, I mean, it's not just happening in Japan either. Like, people find out that they're not sexually compatible after they get married, and
Yeah, that's a problem.
surprise, the marriage
Will do.
fucking falls apart.
Yeah, you got to be able to look.
But I feel like I don't know what the taboos around divorce are in Japan. I don't know what those statistics are. I have no fucking no fucking idea.
It's funny because we live on the same planet and we have no idea about
Right.
that one thing. Like, are they allowed to get divorced? Or what do they believe?
Yeah, I don't know what the societal impressions around that are.
My-
but I feel like there are.
It's probably not a good idea to get divorced.
Yeah, I feel like there might be a greater pressure to stay in an unhappy marriage
deal with
in
the
Asian
bullshit. Yeah.
countries, and you just deal with the bullshit. Whereas in America, we're like, "Fuck you, bye."
Yeah, deuces, motherfucker. I'm going on Love and Hip Hop. We don't give a fuck.
This is fucking.
President's been married 48 times. Who cares?
These pictures, man.
Sad.
What the fuck is? Nah, man. Nope.
I really do think the advent of these sex dolls is going to absolutely destroy some societies. Absolutely. I mean, you're already seeing it in Japan. Their death rate is far outpacing
Their birth rate.
their birth rate. They said they were going to have 1 million less people by 2020 or 2025 or something. That's
It's
insane.
a lot because that's not a big country.
No,
You
right.
can't
It's not
reproduce, you
China
don't
where
have
China's
fucking
they should be drop shipping sex dolls. Stop having sex with each other for a generation. You got plenty of room to clean it out. India, you got 1 billion people. Here's a couple of sex dolls. Make it up and like get out of here. Fuck out of here. No. I can do that. My wife's in the
Okay.
Is that how that works?
I'm going with that.
Yeah, this is
If
sad.
she was here, she'd do the accent. And she's really good at it. Yeah, this is sad, man. It's sad. Terrence, you're up. This is also sad.
Okay. Spiders could, in theory, eat every human on Earth in 1 year.
Cool.
That is not.
That is not
That
cool.
is not cool at all. Good Lord. This is actually an old. I remember reading this not too long ago. Spiders are quite literally all around us. Like there's probably a spider somewhere in here now that we just don't see. It's probably like right over there on the floor over there. Right, probably by your foot.
Really?
I don't know.
I hope it's on your shirt. Go fuck yourself.
It probably is on my shirt, and I just don't want to think about it because it frightens me. Yeah. So basically, there's so many spiders. Like if they wanted to, they could eat the entire human race.
That is fucking horrifying.
Fortunately,
And did you say
they are
in
not
one
that
day?
smart or coordinated.
In 1 year?
In 1 year, yeah. Like they basically
All the
going by
deadly
like
ones are in
they're going by like weight.
Australia.
The world's spiders consume somewhere between 400 million and 800 million tons of prey in any given year. That means that spiders eat at least as much meat as all 7 billion humans on the planet combined, who the authors note consume about 400 million tons of meat and fish each year. Or for a slightly more disturbing comparison, the total biomass of all adult humans on Earth is estimated to be 287 million tons. This is a bunch of fucking math nonsense. Even if you tack on another 70 million-ish tons to account for the weight of kids, it's still not equal to the total amount of food eaten by spiders in a year. Yo, spiders are savages.
Yeah, they are. That's terrifying.
they're
This is a
evil.
terrifying report, and I'm never leaving my house again. Never.
I don't like
Here's the thing:
spiders.
you don't need to leave your house.
No,
for
because I'll
spiders
be.
to eat.
I'll be eating
Again,
him.
there's a spider right by your foot, probably. And you just don't know it because it's so small.
I don't like any of this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on. My story: Zimbabwean pastor claims to have God's direct phone number. Paul Sanyangor, a controversial pastor from Zimbabwe.
Controversial. All right.
Yeah, no shit. Claims that he received God's phone number from the Almighty himself and often receives calls from him on how to best help his congregates.
So does he call them
Yeah.
during his sermons?
Here's a picture of him on the phone. I assume he's talking to God. Who do you think he really calls? Like, in reality. Because obviously God doesn't have a fucking cell phone, because who's God's provider? And like, does God have like nights and weekends? Does he get like a discount on the new phones? I don't know. Is he an Android person? Is he an iPhone? Does God like cell phones at all?
I have a sincere question for you two.
What the fuck is wrong with African pastors?
Like,
We don't know, and don't ask us because we're black.
It's like, look,
Why
goddammit.
are black churches like this? Like,
No, these are not black
Yeah,
churches.
these
These are African
I don't
churches.
know.
Look, black churches have their own thing, but we don't believe in calling God on a cell phone. And maybe
Don't
some of
believe
them
in,
do.
I feel like-
bleach.
You know what? TD Jakes probably believes. That guy's a fucking idiot.
This is all terrible.
Who does he call? Like, who does he actually? He's got to call somebody, right?
Probably calling his fucking
Yeah, so-
brother-in-law. Like,
He's like, can you fucking believe this shit? Another $1,000 in the fucking collection plate. Like, it's like that video. Carrie, I don't expect you to know who this person is, but there's this video of this Hotep guy, Dr. Umar Johnson, and he like gets on the
Heard that
phone.
name.
He's a fucking moron.
as most hoteps tend to be.
No, not most. All of them. All of them. 100% all of them. But he got on, he was like on a live video, Periscope or something like that. And he's like, yeah, I'm about to, fight this person or whatever. And he like picks up the phone and he's talking to someone on the phone. He's like, yeah, I'm shutting shit down. I'm going to kick this person's ass. And he's on a live feed. And then the phone
It
rings.
rings.
And it was just like, oh, yeah, there's something weird with this phone. Like, no, you were pretending to talk on the phone and there was no one there. So I assume that this guy, if he's smart,
He's calling someone.
He's got to be calling somebody.
He's probably
like the Weather
calling
Channel.
his house number and leaving a voicemail. Like,
yeah, that's probably pretty smart. Or like you call the weather, and it's like at the time will be, and it's 90 degrees outside, and he's like, yeah, thanks God, you're right. It is warm outside. It's Africa. Like, so I don't know. This guy is either that or this guy actually can call God, which is pretty cool.
I'm gonna need Africa to do better. Like I really am, because this is insanity. Like I'm really tired of these goddamn.
Look, that's a show title. Do better, Africa.
This is just sad. Every fucking week, they drink castor oil or fucking Valvoline.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, you get
This is the only way to
drink
reach
Valvoline.
God.
Hey, I got God's direct cell phone number. Like
One pastor said he died and went to heaven and took a selfie. You remember that? And like he was selling the selfies for $50 a piece, and people were buying them. They're like, "Oh no, that's him in heaven." I'm like, "That's just him in front of a white sheet." Like it's not. No, it's not from heaven. It's not a selfie from heaven. That didn't happen.
Like, that's just sad, man.
There ain't no people dumber on this earth than
Religious people?
extremely religious people.
No, that is 100% true. No matter what country, what you believe.
Medicine, vaccines,
Yep.
science, provable facts. No.
Nah, that shit don't matter.
This book and the fact that dude told me that if I roll
Drink
around
his
on
Valvoline?
drink his Valvoline and roll around on the floor with a snake, then
Kick me in the stomach.
my cancer will be cured.
Yeah, that was another one. He's just like beating the shit out of him.
stomach. Like, what the fuck?
Or there was the other African pastor who told all these women that he needed to grab their asses and their tits. Remember that one?
Yeah.
And it was just like the picture was like a bunch of like thick ass African women. He was like, "Yeah, I'm doing it for God." I'm like, "No, you're not, dude." And look, I get it, but that shit's not cool, man. Just ask him out on a date.
Yeah, that shit was insanity.
And husbands were like, "Yes, this is the way we get to heaven." I'm like, "You big dummy, what are you doing?"
Dude, just feeling your wife up, my nigga. Like, don't do that. Don't
Wake up, dog. Like, come on. Yikes. Trailers this week. Armed Response.
I didn't see any of the trailers.
Don't watch the trailer.
Like I saw Wesley Snipes.
It's not good. It's not good. It's Wesley Snipes and a series of other military-like people fighting an automated building.
What?
Yep. Next trailer. I don't know. Like it didn't really make sense to me. Next trailer is Pilgrimage. This is very much in the same vein as Valhalla Rising. Do you remember that?
I've never seen that, but I know what it is.
Oh, okay. I thought you saw it. Did you see Valhalla Rising? This does not seem like a movie that is up your alley, literally at all. So Valhalla Rising was directed by the same guy who did Drive. And it's starring Mads Mikkelsen as this guy named One Eye, who was like...
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen is a fucking psychopath in this movie.
Cool.
He is a caged slave who is forced to fight. He rips a guy's throat out in the first 5 minutes of the movie with his teeth. Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking brutal, dude. I think it's on Netflix. But like, they're literally Valhalla Rising. There's no words for the first like 40 minutes of the movie.
Oh no.
No, but it's good. Like, I think you would actually dig it. It's fucking wild though. But this reminds me of that. This is sort of a pilgrimage of like some religious folks trying to take, I don't know, the fucking Ark of the Covenant or some other bullshit that's not real, and they're taking it from one place to another.
It's my favorite thing that you say on the show.
It's not real, guys. I mean, God love you, but it's not real. And they're trying to take this box of magic, and they're trying to take it wherever. And Tom Holland is some sort of religious character, right? He's like this young religious kid, and one of the people they have with him is John Barenthal, who is like a warrior of some kind, and he's there to protect them or something like that, right? And it looks fucking intense because it's John Barenthal, and that guy loves to murder people on screen, like a lot.
Clearly.
And like he is really into it, and like they're just kind of utilizing him, and he kind of is just doing it because of whatever reason. I think, I don't know. He seems to be being manipulated, and he's just killing for these religious folks, which sounds about right for religious history. And and it actually looks very good. Tom Holland looks really good in it. John Barenthal looks really good in it. I'll see it. I'll probably see it.
Yeah, I was looking at it without the sound. It looks like something I'd like to see.
Yeah, it looks very intense, though. Very, very intense. Speaking of John Barenthal, I forgot to put this on the docket as well. I watched The Accountant. Mm-hmm. It's fine. Not bad. I thought Ben Affleck was a pretty good autistic guy. Like, he's autistic Batman. That's who he is. He is. He, like, blows on his hands and then, like, makes his breakfast and then shoots people with a fucking 50 cal sniper rifle. It was great. Yep. And John Barenthal's in that, and he murders people, too.
Is it on Netflix?
No, it's on HBO.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I actually dug it. I thought it was really good. All right, guys, that is it for us this week. We will see you guys next week. Oh, you have something?
I'm going to be at Comic-Con.
Oh, yes, that's right. So Carrie is going, luckily for her, she don't have to fucking pay for it.
Correct. Yeah, I'm going to be there flying in Wednesday morning. I will not be there.
Is this coming Wednesday?
Yeah, 19th. Okay. So that's a 5.5 hour plane ride I am not looking forward to.
See, should have had a Hyperloop.
Well... But yeah, so I'll be there. I don't know if any of our listeners are going. I think one person in the fan group said they were going to be there like Thursday and then again on Sunday or something like that. I will not be there on Sunday because my flight out is too early for me to do.
I normally bail on Sundays too.
At the convention.
That's Kids Day anyway.
Yeah. So fuck yeah, kids. If
don't fuck it.
If people are going, let me know in the fan group because I've got panels that I need to cover, but like no real, just kind of doing my thing at the convention. So
cool, excellent.
Be taking a lot of photos, so keep an eye out in the fan group for those as well.
All right, there you go, and we will see you guys next week.
Take it easy.
Bye.